Hello, this is Ariella Carmel, and we're in Paris as part of Israel's business delegation led by Calcalist and Bank Hapoalim. I'm joined by Julien Roitman, the chairman of the Israel-France Chamber of Commerce and Industry based in Tel Aviv. Thank you so much for
Hello,
joining
Ariela.
me.
Glad to meet you.
So, can you start off by telling me a little bit about your activities at the Israel-France Chamber of Commerce?
Well, the chamber exists in order to improve, to boost the economic relationship between Israel and France. And I think it's especially important in those days because when in international relations you have ups and downs, at least when you have strong economic ties and business ties between people, then you can secure the future of the relationship.
Absolutely. And have you seen an impact on French interest in the Israeli tech ecosystem in the last year?
To be honest, not really. I mean, the the only significant impact I've seen is a positive impact because after the 300 Iranian missiles did not reach any target, so today I think all the Israeli manufacturers are overloaded by orders. So it's a very positive impact. For the rest, I mean, all the calls for boycott are, to this day at least, quite inefficient for several reasons. First of all, most of, let's say, the democratic countries' regulations strictly forbid boycott. That's one thing. Then, if you take the consumer side, the end user side, it's not very effective because at the end of the day, Israel has very little proportion of its exports that is for consumers. It's mostly either services or intermediate products. So it's really Israel inside things. So not much impact. Another reason is also that the innovation and technology of Israel is so much ahead of many countries that you cannot afford to avoid it. And I would say even that even in an area where more traditional, let's say all the agricultural export and so on. So it's true that there have been some impacts, some effects of the calls for boycott, but it has been balanced because there are many people who did not care so much to buy Israeli, and especially Dafka, because of these calls for boycott, have started to buy Israeli products, Israeli goods. So it's
Wow.
kind of balanced. So to this day, at least, it's okay. No negative impact, and
That's
somebody.
interesting.
Yeah.
And on the other hand, Israeli entrepreneurs have traditionally looked at the American market as the main goal, but have you seen an increase in their interest in the French market?
Well, I mean, I heard one of the people that used to say that when you want to pray, you turn to Jerusalem, and you want money, you turn to New York. So I would say, I mean, I am impressed. I mean, I've been in Israel for 1.5 years now, and I'm impressed how much the U.S. way of thinking, U.S. way of life, has really impressed. I mean, in a printing sense, on the Israeli. I mean, it's true in business, it's true in education, it's true living on credit. I mean, many things. So you can understand it because the U.S. have been a very long and sustainable ally of Israel, and also because there is a lot of money and it's an ongoing source of dollars pouring into Israel, which is
Right.
nice. Now, I think one should remember that Europe, I mean, the market in Europe is greater than the market not only of the US but of the Americas, one of probably the biggest market in the world. And France is probably the best, if not the only one, but the best gate to enter the European market for several reasons. First of all, because UK is out of the game, it has left the European Union. Then you have Germany, which is really a very big piece, but maybe it's too big for small companies. And it's not, I mean, the flexibility is not the utmost characteristic of Germany. While France, both by culture and by geography, is open to the south, to the north, to the east, and it's a country that is used to new ideas, new concepts, new ways of thinking. So it's easier to entry. I mean, there is no, I would say, mental barrier to people coming from outside. Now, regarding Israel, France is really next door. I mean, as I mentioned to you, I mean, the distance between Paris, Tel Aviv, and Paris is one third of the distance between Tel Aviv and Los Angeles, and I mean,
True.
it's really very close. And because of this proximity, let's say the French Jews, I mean, they are only 1% of the population, but are very close to Israel. There is almost no French Jew that has not been at least once in his life to Israel. Every French Jew has some family somewhere in Israel, so it's
There's a
quite
natural
reliable.
bridge.
Now, when you think about the inhibitors, the barriers, traditionally the language was a barrier. I mean, the French people were speaking French. Now, today, with the new generations, there is not a business, there is not a university where people don't speak English. So it's very, very wide, very open on that part. Now, of course, there are regulation, there are administration, heaviness, like everywhere. But the good news is that the French government, both at national level and regional level, are looking desperately for foreign investments. So there are all kinds of subsidies, financial helps, and so on for whoever wants to come and to do something. So
Okay.
it's not a bad bet, I would say.
So it's definitely something that Israeli entrepreneurs should be considering as they're moving
Yeah,
forward.
I think it's yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Julien. That's all the time we have for now.
My
but
pleasure.
Thank you for joining
Okay,
us.
anytime, and come to France. C'est good news.
Merci.
Bye.